All right, guys, the cryptid I want to talk about today, it's all over the place, but there was sightings in the Netherlands. So, I brought you over here. We're camping in Amsterdam's Waterleidingduinen. It's like a
nailed it.
He's trying.
I Googled how to pronounce it, and it's still difficult. But we're hanging out here by the fire. We brought a little special guest with us today. He's not just a little special; he's a big special guest. New author, new book out. Fred, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying my time in the Netherlands, and glad to run into you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful night. And I do kind of want us all to watch the skies because this cryptid is very sky focused. And Fred, in your book, Broken Sentences, you actually have a creature in there that kind of relates to this cryptid. And today I'm going to tell you guys all about the atmospheric jellyfish.
What?
That sounds amazing.
It's a jellyfish up in the sky.
In the atmosphere. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't we hop into it and let's learn all about these sky sea-faring creatures, what they could be.
It's Greg's Cryptid Corner, where mysteries abound. Bigfoot, Mothman, monsters, let's see what we found.
Hey, and welcome to Greg's Cryptid Corner, a podcast about monsters for weirdos. I'm your host, Greg, and today, we got a gaggle of folks with us today. As always, we've got forever guests. Dan, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm eating this Swedish meatball and looking at these heavy metal albums. I don't know what else people do in this area of the world.
I also don't
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got Eric. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing good. Happy to be back. But I missed a couple episodes, so I'm ready to get my jellyfish on.
Yeah, I'm glad we brought you on an international episode, and we're joined by Fred Charles. Like I said, brand new author. Well, he's been writing forever, but this is your debut novel, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Ooh.
Took me a while to get it out, but it's out there now.
How long were you writing it? Do you mind if I ask?
Off and on for about 15 years.
Whoa!
Wow.
Damn.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow. So this is like you didn't just have a baby. You gestated this baby.
I worked on it about 3 months a year for about 15 years. So
man,
nice.
Maybe the last 3 years, probably more full time. So
it's like giving birth, and then the child that you gave birth to could just go get their driver's permit.
that's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's wild.
It was percolating for a while. And your book is full of like sci-fi horror stuff, and one of the sections has a jellyfish creature. So I figured, why don't we talk about atmospheric jellyfish? It's not exactly what's in your book, but you also mentioned Shadow People and the Hat Man, and unfortunately we've already covered that, so couldn't redo it again. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about atmospheric jellyfish, and it's kind of a fun one, and I think some of this might move to a bonus episode on the Patreon. So we'll see. I don't have that quite ready yet, but
you keep promising that. We still haven't done it.
Haven't delivered a single one, I know, but I will eventually. Let's hop in, talk about the atmospheric jellyfish, and determine if it's real or not. We'll see.
You're saying this is a singular creature. It's the atmospheric jellyfish, or is there like a school of these guys around up there?
Yeah, let's see if they're real.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For the clarification.
Oh, I also saw atmospheric jellyfish open for Jethro Tull, like the 70s.
That is a great band name.
All those arms, they could play drums and guitar at the same time, so they're good. They're a good band. But yeah, let's hop into it. The skies aren't just filled with tic-tac-shaped spaceships, SpaceX satellites, and random space junk. But some say it's also home to cryptid creatures known as atmospheric beasts, one of them being the atmospheric jellyfish. Now, I normally start with a story about them, but there are several, so I kind of want to first describe them, and then we'll talk about some of the sightings. So the atmospheric jellyfish kind of live in that gray area between UFO and cryptid, because we're not exactly sure if they're alive or not. The creature resembles a jellyfish, and they have been described as semi-transparent and bell-shaped with dangling tendrils. And they also have been described as glowing or shimmering. Now, movement-wise, they don't really zip around the skies like a UFO would, you'd think of, but they're seen kind of slowly moving and drifting like they're swimming through the air.
So the mental image that I have right now is like a big light. There's like aluminum blankets that people get in emergency situations. Like one of those caught high up in the atmosphere, just kind of like, moving with the currents of the air, maybe not a lot of agency. I'm not saying that it's literally a foil blanket. Don't get me wrong. I believe in the jellyfish.
Well, yeah. So there's actually kind of going to that idea. Have you ever heard of the Black Knight satellite?
Nope.
So it's like this weird thing floating out in like our atmosphere. And a lot of conspiracy theorists claim it's like 13,000 years old and it's an alien satellite that's like orbiting the Earth, monitoring us. But NASA's basically like, nah, it's a thermal blanket. that
interesting.
Escaped the, one of our ships or whatever. Like it's junk. But yeah, so that's interesting that you say that specifically because that is a thing that could happen.
Or just like, when you watch like a plastic bag caught in the wind, you could read agency where it's really just the breeze.
Yeah, like American Beauty.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of the alien creatures from Nope, the Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah.
Very sounds similar to what you're describing.
So I read somewhere that the creature in Nope is based on atmospheric beasts and the atmospheric jellyfish specifically.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. Okay,
you guys are nailing things today.
Man, we're on fire.
You guys are doing so good. The Netherlands are opening your heads up to really think about things. Now, granted, you're debunking things, but that's okay. It's fine.
We're all just sleepy from the plane ride.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the first confirmed sighting of an atmospheric jellyfish occurred on September 20th, 1977 in Petrozavodsk, Russia.
Okay. I'm trying to think if I should make fun of you for how you pronounce that or not. Hold on. No, you did a good job. That was good.
Yeah,
that was
nailed
good.
It.
Very nice job.
What started as a bright star-like object that spiraled down towards the Earth, it stopped and hovered for several minutes and eventually started shining bright, thin rays of light towards the ground and producing a howling siren-like sound.
Whoa.
Now, shortly later, it descended more, and that's when folks kind of started seeing it appear as a jellyfish. Now, there's kind of like more to that story, and I do want to, that's the one I want to dig into on the Patreon bonus episode. But needless to say, over 1,500 letters were sent to authorities about the sighting. So it really wasn't just like some random drunk Russian guy making it up.
Right.
A lot of people saw it.
That just sounds like a UFO. It sounds like a lot of UFO sightings. I'm still not sure. So I guess this could be a UFO with tentacles.
Yeah.
Or like that has like, I don't know, robot arms or something.
Yeah. So that's why I said earlier, it's in that kind of gray area between UFO and cryptid because we're not positive.
Oh, so have you seen that video of it's like a UFO at like a naval base or some sort of military installation, and it looks like a sea creature, like it has dangly legs, like it's very jellyfish like.
It's probably this, yeah.
Yeah, they picked it up on like some thermal imaging or something. I wonder if it's related.
We'll have to, you look that up and we'll talk about it on Patreon.
All right.
So it was first sighted in Russia?
Correct, in 1977, yeah.
Okay. But it's a Netherlands cryptid. Did it migrate?
There's sightings in the Netherlands and other countries as well. Yeah. I just didn't feel like going to Russia this week. So
I think Netherlands is probably a lot better place to visit.
It's just more chill, The next most famous sighting was in Qingxian, China on October 19th, 1998, when an atmospheric jellyfish was spotted by a Chinese Air Force pilot and about 140 ground officials. Now, just like in Russia, it started as a bright, small, star-like object, only for it to descend further and appear jellyfish-shaped. The Chinese Air Force sent a fighter jet to intercept it. But when it got within about 13,000 feet of it, it shot quickly away and would continue to do so as if it was toying with the plane.
Huh.
No, I really like to see the spelling of that because I'm pretty sure that is where I adopted my daughter from, was Changshan, China.
Oh,
nice. What a weird connection. Yeah.
Oh, maybe your daughter's
Is she a jellyfish? How many arms?
I saw a lot. I'll tell you what, I saw a lot of pollution.
Okay. Well, that might play into some of this.
Very, very interesting. Okay, carry on.
Now, the pilot was eventually forced to disengage when the jet's fuel started running low. So, they were chasing this thing for a while and couldn't catch it.
And it was toying with them.
It seemed to be kind of playing with them, yeah.
It was like a little board. Do you think that, like, aliens, when I see a cat, I'm going to dangle a string in its face because it's cute to see the cat play with it. Like, do you think it thought the plane was cute? Like, are aliens like, oh, well,
maybe.
Little people. Look at him in his little airplane. He thinks he's a UFO.
He thinks he's a UFO.
It winked at him. Wink. Blew him a kiss.
I hope so, yeah.
Just flirting.
So after that, we've got even more sightings. We've got sightings of atmospheric jellyfish on January 20th, 2010 in Norway, April 12th, 2012 in Toronto. NASA caught one on its cameras in December 2012. And one was seen June 1st, 2015 in the Netherlands. And that's why we're here. It's kind of the latest one. There's also reports from the late 1800s describing organic looking floating object. At the time, they said it was kind of akin to an airship. So that's, they didn't know cool things back in the 1800s.
Like a blimp kind of a thing you're describing.
Yeah. Which kind of is shaped like a jellyfish.
Maybe
more so a whale.
Sentence. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Yeah.
So atmospheric jellyfish are part of the atmospheric beasts, and kind of like a sky whale. I don't know if that's what they're called, but there are whale-shaped atmospheric beasts as well.
I think maybe this is why I'm like a little distracted this episode because I'm trying to wrap my head around a whole new category of cryptid that I was not familiar with. This atmospheric genre. I'm used to. The only cryptids I know about are the ones we talk about on this podcast. And so far, 80% of them are cryptids that you might run over with your car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might run this one over with your plane.
Yeah, they're always peeking at you from the side of the road. But how many of these atmospheric cryptids are there?
I don't know because I didn't do that full research.
Oh, we got to deep dive it then because I'm interested. And I think the thing that is kind of hurting my brain is not knowing, is this supposed to be an aircraft that has, or spacecraft or something that has little guys inside of it? Or does this thing have a brain and lungs or whatever alien equivalents and its own like agency? Like, do these survive in space, or is this like an animal that has always just like lived in the atmosphere?
Well, maybe they come out of the ocean because there's always talk about how there's supposedly aliens in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
These are ocean-like creatures, so it's possible that maybe they come up for air once in a while and just buzz people and then go back into the water.
A lot of air.
I like that.
They come up for a lot of air.
Yeah, I mean that's incredibly possible. I don't have an answer. The way I look at it, they could be some sort of like biomechanical spaceships or a biological UFO. Like they could be big enough creatures that aliens are using them as transportation if they can fly in space, right? Doctor Who had space whales, I believe. Star Wars has space whales.
Mm-hmm.
We, in our dimension, have jellyfish.
Well, I'm not just trying to be crude. I'm so sorry. Do biological ships poop?
I would assume so, but I would assume maybe you could,
like, instead of exhaust, they got a little butt.
They got exhaust holes in a way.
Okay.
I would guess, yeah.
Because I guess you'd have to give it some kind of fuel, and then it would turn that into something that it would have to get rid of.
Chemtrails.
Chemtrails.
Okay. So the space jellyfish comes up from the ocean.
Now we know.
Chemtrail poop, which helps our teeth, I think.
Well, do jellyfish poop?
That is a good question. Dude, do jellyfish poop?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Doesn't everything poop?
I'm typing this out right now.
It says yes, jellyfish do poop.
I need to see a photo of that.
I don't think. Oh, jellyfish. They have a single opening. They lack a separate anus. Their mouth cavity serves both functions. Oh,
I want that.
That's just rude.
I feel so bad for a jellyfish right now.
It's called throoping.
Yeah, it's throw up and poop.
Oof. Don't make out with the jellyfish.
I mean, restaurants would be very different if humans throoped.
Wow. The things you learn when you don't want to ask the questions.
I didn't realize how educational this podcast was.
We're so smart.
Kudos to you guys.
All right.
Yeah. Most of our knowledge
Jellyfish
comes
throw
around if things poop or not. And us Googling it when it pops in our head. But
No, they lay eggs, right? That's how they reproduce.
Yeah, probably. Right? Isn't that what caviar is? Jellyfish eggs? No, fish eggs.
No, I'm pretty sure it's fish eggs. Okay, no, I'm just curious. I'm sure somebody will enlighten us. I just never seen a jellyfish, wing wang before.
Yeah.
So I'm just assuming it lays eggs.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah, so they could be biomechanical or even biological UFOs. They could be organic cryptids to just happen to live in the sky, maybe in space, and they only kind of like popping down to our viewable area occasionally. But here's where the boring skeptics come in.
Okay.
They could be a weather balloon. They could just be a random balloon floating, which doesn't kind of necessarily explain the lights and the shimmering, but that's okay. They could also be some sort of atmospheric phenomena that we don't quite know and we can't explain because we've got like sprites and things like that. It could be that space blanket you mentioned earlier, Dan, like reflecting off the northern lights, and like you see a shimmering, and it just kind of looks like a jellyfish, from our perspective. So I do think that like something it could definitely be happening up there that we just don't know yet, because the world's wild in every way, and space is wild. So I'm not necessarily saying it's definitely space jellyfish, but it could be. But it could also be just junk.
Has anyone ever photographed an atmospheric jellyfish?
There are many pictures of atmospheric jellyfish. So,
all right, well,
yes.
I'm going to have to look this up.
I think the fact that they make sound is interesting.
So the one in Russia was the one that had the sound, and that's very specific to that sighting.
Gotcha.
The other sightings didn't necessarily say there was like this siren howling. So it could be an offshoot of, regular atmospheric jellyfish, or that could, there's a lot. But yeah, if you Google atmospheric jellyfish, there's plenty of pictures.
Doesn't look like a weather balloon. I'll tell you that much.
I know it does. Yeah. It definitely has more a vibe of like the cloud monster from Nope.
It also kind of looks like it could be like a freakish weather pattern.
Yeah.
Like a byproduct of the atmosphere itself that we just don't understand, or we just don't see that commonly. Although it wouldn't usually like make noises and chase jet planes around,
Yeah. So those two sightings were like had very like specific things happen in them, which was kind of why I wanted to mention them. They're like I said, the one in Russia is wild. The lights were burning holes in like glass windows and in concrete and things like that.
What?
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that Tic Tac video is very much like screwing with airplanes, and just disappearing. So like, if this is in that same realm, I could see it messing with like our technology.
What are the Tic Tacs or the poop? Or whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jellyfish poop just zipping around.
Yeah. Everything comes down to poop here on this show.
Sorry.
No, it's biological, man. It happens.
I would see if I built a biological space. Sorry, I had not really considered the idea of a biological spaceship. If I had built one, I would make it so that it had reproductive parts. And then I could build another one, and they could start having baby ships, and then I could sell the baby ships. It's an infinite money glitch.
There you go. Yeah. I think the TV show Farscape, if I'm not mistaken, I think the spaceship was biological.
Well, what do you think, Greg? Do you think this is a creature, or do you think this is a ship? Where do you land on this?
I think it's a creature. Now it's tough to say because I didn't go into a lot of the ship stuff in the Russian one. Because I do want to save that, but it's I think it's a creature. I think it's kind of just a I don't want to keep going to Doctor Who, but there was a Christmas episode where there were fish in the air. Because it was all the ice crystals and you could swim, like the fish swam around in there. I think it's like that. I think our atmosphere is a little janky and we got cool little jellyfish up there and snakes and stuff.
Okay. Where do you other guys land? Eric, Fred, I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm thinking it's more organic. I don't know. A jellyfish just feels like it would be more organic to me, and not a ship. But who knows?
Yeah, I'm along the same lines. I'm thinking it's like more like a creature or being. I like the concept that it might be coming out of the ocean.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Which is very much like the Tic Tacs as well. What about you, Dan?
I'm leaning towards. Well, honestly, I'm leaning towards space trash or atmospheric like effects. But if I had to pick between creature or spaceship, I kind of like the spaceship idea. Like the thing is being piloted somehow, or it looks like a jellyfish on the outside, but on the inside, it's like a skyscraper, and they can just like bend time and space around it, and it just looks like, because if you like, I don't know, huck wet silly putty at a wall, it'll like splatter and tendrils will shoot out of it. Like maybe that's what's happening to it all the time. It's like being squashed to fit more stuff in it.
Yeah, in that documentary, like Undisclosed or whatever, The Age of Disclosure, didn't they talk about like that's how the UFOs move, where it's like they're kind of in like this gravity bubble, and then it kind of like manipulates time and space around it? Was that? Yeah. So I think if you're taking this organic or maybe like biomechanical spaceship, scrunching it down in this gravity bubble could theoretically start kind of like pulling it apart, maybe, squishing it down like that silly putty on the wall.
I mean, I feel like it would look fluid or something. I think that's the thing that I'm gravitating towards, is like the organicness of it is a byproduct of like, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Like the way like light would move through gravity differently if it's being compressed. I don't even know what those words mean, but you get what I mean.
I have a thought that I'm trying to put together, but I'm not sure if it's going to be coherent. But I'm thinking like if the aliens got confused, but say they wanted to spy on us and they got confused between the ocean and the sky, maybe they created their spy things to look like something that should be in the ocean, but because they're confused, it's up in the sky. Because why would a jellyfish be in the sky?
They've already built it. Just keep
it up
there.
They did like a scan of the planet from space, right?
Yeah, right.
And they were like, well, there's like a couple billion of these human things, and they're of this intelligence, and there's a couple billion of these octopus things, these squid things, and they're also pretty intelligent. Looks like the humans have built bombs, so I guess the octopuses are the actual intelligent ones,
right?
So they're the ones we're trying to reach out to.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good call. They should, because humans are the absolute worst.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
We're cooked. We done messed up.
Yeah, we got a good 3 years left in us. Probably. So that's the atmospheric jellyfish. Like I said, I kind of wanted to bring it into the show because Fred's got his new book out and there's a jellyfish monster in it. And I don't want to spoil things about that because I actually think it's part of my favorite section of Broken Sentences. So Fred, why don't you tell us a little bit about Broken Sentences? Sell it to the audience. Why read this book?
Well, okay, so it's 5 stories that are connected, and each story tells about a character who starts off in a situation that you think is normal, but then as time goes on, the reality starts to fall apart. So, like when I started writing it, I just had the concept of a knight who was guarding a castle, like your basic fantasy trope that you've seen a million times. But as the story goes on, he starts to realize that he doesn't know who he is. He's not sure how he got there. And also, he's not sure what they're protecting the castle against. So the more questions he starts to answer, the more strange things go along in the story. So like that's one of the stories. It's very surreal. A lot of it deals with existential dread. It's at its heart, it's basically about human struggles. So, themes of like divorce, grief, addiction, and I fear that we really don't know our own selves. So,
all the good stuff.
Yeah, well, the good stuff. Yeah, and like there's definitely science fiction vibes, cosmic horror, like the one you referenced, Greg, about the creatures. That story is it's about a guy who takes a job in an underground facility to afford medical for his wife who has this disease, but the facility is blanketed in darkness. He has to wear goggles to see, and you don't really know why this is. And he eventually gets introduced to what's actually going on down in this facility. There's heavy, it's satirical as well, so it's not all dark and dreary. The final story is about a guy who is a failed writer who takes a job as a copywriter at a pharmaceutical company, and his job is to take the drugs and then create a disease so that they could sell the drug to the public.
Nice.
But as the story goes on and the more drugs he's ingesting, it just becomes very like phantasmagoric and strange and bizarre, but it all ties up in the end. So I feel like it has a positive message at its core, even though it does deal with pretty dark subject matter in some parts of it.
It does. I found it incredibly fun though, and it was difficult to put down until like 3:00 in the morning. I'm just like, come on, I got to go to bed. I'll finish
I
this
appreciate
tomorrow.
that.
No, I think it's really great. And so I do think if you're interested in sci-fi horror, kind of postmodern writing, like the book has that like House of Leaves vibe to it, where it's kind of like trippy and weird. Yeah. So if you like that kind of stuff, go check out Broken Sentences, a novel of existential dread, which great title.
Yeah, I just started reading it and I'm enjoying it. Actually, I'm going to say, Fred, you do one of my favorite things, which is you have a lot of chapters and they're short chapters. So then I feel very smart when I'm just blowing through. I'll tell my wife like, "Oh, I just read like 12 chapters of my book," and I feel very smart.
I don't like to read long books, so I like to write books that are shorter and digestible. Nothing turns me off more than a book that's 1,000 pages long and is number one in a series of 10 books. That is, so I'll say just get to the point.
What I thought was cool was at the intro of the book, you spell out like there's two ways you can read this thing. You can read it through cover to cover, the traditional way you read a book. But then there's this other way where you use tarot cards and you draw tarot cards to determine which story, like what chapter of which section of the book you're going to read next. And you can have like a totally freewheeling tarot determined path between all of these stories. And I thought that was really interesting. I think my plan is I'm going to read it the traditional way first, and then I'm going to go back. If I liked it, I'm going to go back. I'll let you know, Fred. I'll let you know when I get to the end.
I appreciate
it. But I want to go back and try the tarot way and see if there's any like connections the second time through that stand out more or less with that second approach. I just thought it was like a clever idea. I dig.
Yeah, like shuffles all the chapters together between the different stories, and I think it creates a sense of it's kind of disorienting, but I wanted it to be that way. So, and then I think it's easier to draw the connections between the stories because there are definitely connections between each stories. There's things that repeat in each story as you read through it, and I think it's a fun way to read it.
Yeah. I read my first read through was on a like a Kindle version, and I thought it'd be too difficult trying to like navigate through like an ebook version of it that way. But now I've got the paperback, so my next read through will be the weird way, the Fred way.
And it definitely works both ways. And I laid the sections out in a way that if you read it from cover to cover and you don't want to mess around, you don't need tarot cards. You can use you can use playing cards. You just have to assign each card to a section. But I mean, you could read it straight through and it's still, you'll get the same effect out of it. It's laid out in a way that it makes sense.
Well, congratulations, man.
Yeah,
that's really awesome. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, huge accomplishment.
Where can I get a copy of this book?
You can get a physical copy or a Kindle version on Amazon.com. And we also have a few signed copies left on our website at www.loudcoffeepress.com. You can get copies there as well. That'll be signed or personalized, whatever you want.
That's what I got mine from there. And I asked Fred to put on lipstick and just kiss the inside of the cover.
I'll spray a little bit of my perfume on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll have links in the description of the episode, so you can click in there and get whatever copies you would want. And Fred, where can people find you on social media or the internet or your home address?
I would say just I'm mostly on Instagram at Fred Charles Wrights. It's just at Fred Charles Wrights, not .com on Instagram.
All right. Yeah.
I'm on X, but I'm usually just yelling about stuff on X. So.
He's just yelling at the clouds.
As the rest of us are.
Yep. What a nightmare, horrible place.
Oh, more like yelling at atmospheric jellyfish.
The dregs of humanity. Yes.
Yep.
Including myself.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us today, Fred. And yeah, go check out Fred's book, Broken Sentences, a novel of existential dread. We don't have any new reviews or comments this week. Sorry to say. People are busy. It was Valentine's Day weekend, and people were buying flowers for their beautiful favorite cryptids.
Yeah, I bought Squonk a flower, and when I tried to give it to him, he dissolved into a puddle of tears, and I just planted the flower in the tears.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Squonk, on our Patreon Discord, one of our supporters, Amy's Birdhouse, put up a incredibly cute drawing of Squonk holding a heart. It was so
very
good.
Sweet.
And if you want to see that, one, you could go just follow Amy's Birdhouse on Instagram. But you could also subscribe to our Patreon. $2 a month will get you into the Discord, where we have incredibly fun discussions. We watch movies. I think we're going to start a little book club. Who knows what's going to happen? It's a wild place in there, in a good way. And for $5 a month, you get all that as well. And we'll say your name at the end of every episode. And I want to shout out your Squonk level patrons: Amy's Birdhouse, Liam Neville, Bridget, Pam and Brian, Molly, an unperceived interdimensional Bigfoot, and Brutal Kimpact. Thank you for supporting the show.
Thank you. We love you.
And as always, I'm Squonk. You're Squonk. Go birds.
What if the plume of the jellyfish was just a really nice lacy dress, and the tentacles are its limbs?
You love fancy cryptids.
I do. I like a cryptid that gets dressed up. Do you remember the clown robot? There was our bonus episode about the clown robot.
Yeah, Sam the Sandown Clown. And then you had the Flatwoods Monster was wearing a dress, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like a silver dress.
Yeah, it was
metal. Green.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like made out of metal.
Yeah, it was a metal dress.
It was metallic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the jellyfish could just be wearing a big old, parachute pants or something.
Oh, he's listening to MC Hammer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think these fancy cryptids all go to like a ball together and that's why they're dressed up?
I hope so.
That'd be really nice. So like an old-timey British ball.
Yeah, where they're eating chopped up people.
Yeah, is that what they did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they do. That's what we're finding out.
That's what they do now.
Let's not ruin this poor cryptid by bringing it into our.
Was the atmospheric jellyfish to the island? I need to know.
I've never seen the atmospheric jellyfish on a list anywhere. It's fine.
That is right. Let's leave it out of our mouths.